It's the Movie Toasty Show, here for you. Dennis and Adam joke about orgasms and sweet movie reviews. We talk about TV too, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah! Movie Toast.
What is up?
Hey, Toasties. Good to chat with you. I know this is a little different, isn't it? Adam, it's nice to actually see you.
Although it does look like we're divided.
We're not. I promise. Look.
Oh, boy.
Boom. I'm over here.
And this is working
He's
great
there.
for the audio version, which is the main one.
In case you can't hear it or see it, sorry, in case you can't see it, we are actually in the same room because this week, Toasties, we are recording at the end of the second day of WonderCon in Anaheim, California. That's right, WonderCon 2024.
What?
It has been a blast. It has been a fun trip. It's good to finally see my fucking good buddy again. It's I don't know. I know you are a regular season.
This is So we're gonna do episode 186 a little bit different. We're gonna talk about the con before we jump into our average things like polls and reviews and whatnot. So yeah, what's it like for you? Your first Comic Con type experience, I guess.
Okay. So you know that corner of the mall that has all the nerdy shit you want to go see, but it's that everywhere. And everyone here is looking at the same stuff, and that's my favorite part of it. I feel so the opposite of out of place when I'm here. It's
a weird feeling.
It is new, but also comfortable so quickly. I having a great time. I know people who are here, so that was kind of fun. I know got a buddy over in 501st, so I got to say hi to some stormtroopers.
I want to explain what they are in case the listeners
for those that don't know, 501st Legion is a Star Wars cosplay group that specializes in Imperial uniforms, from stormtroopers to TIE pilots to clone troopers, anything that fought for the Republic or the Empire. That's what they embrace. And they're the coolest bunch of folks, and everyone's very inclusive, very like they want to get you in on it, or if you want photos, they're really all about it. It's just, if you ever see a stormtrooper walking around your like state fair or whatever, please approach them, say hello. There's a really good chance,
or call your cops and say something, because it might just be a lone man with a stormtrooper outfit.
It might be the Death Star might be aiming at Earth. You better watch out. No, they're a really cool, very, very awesome group of people that do a lot of good stuff. And it was fun linking up with the folks I knew from there, but the whole show was really cool. Everyone was so nice. Everyone's really cool. From seeing the cosplay costumes to seeing all the cool merch to seeing all the great panels that we were going to, from subject matter all across the board. Although, yes, there were a lot of things like comic books and TV and anime and a whole bunch of other things that we may not necessarily cover on Movie Toast. There was still also a ton of Movie Toast goodness to enjoy. We saw some really like legends, absolute legends from the film industry. So we're really excited to share that with you guys today.
Yeah, and I want to apologize about weird noises. We're at a hotel right near Disney World or Land, right?
Disneyland.
Okay.
Yeah.
World is Florida.
West Coast.
Yeah.
OG
so
Disney.
There's weird noises outside all around us. Apologies for that, but there's always weird noises around us.
There is. Man. No, I know we got a few things. So we will rattle through the WonderCon stuff
say what
first,
we've seen.
then, I guess.
Yeah, let's talk about the stuff we've gone to, I guess.
Well, I know you had a lot more panels than I did.
A little bit. Well, you got to live on the floor. Let's see.
What did you go at first?
I checked out the Spiderwick Chronicles, but I just caught most of the pilot episode. It's pretty much like your book, I guess. A family moves to a small town, and it turns out the town they moved to, or not a small town, just a weird town where the family grew up, and the family's kind of ostracized because they think that they're crazy, because they say they've seen ogres and fairies and whatnot. And that might be true. And this is a new rendition of it, starring Kristen Slater and some other folks on what platform is this? That would be nice if I knew it. Tubi? No, not Tubi. Yeah, Tubi original, I think.
Oh, good for Tubi.
One of those streamers that doesn't normally do it. Yeah, it looked good. Very cinematic for a TV show, especially one on a smaller streamer.
Nice. That's a big title because I know they were trying to do a feature series stuff to it a little while back.
Yeah, they had like the Freddie Highmore movie. Never saw. It didn't seem to take.
Because I know there was multiple books, but I feel like there was only one movie.
Right? From 2008, I think.
Well, hey. We'll touch on some 2008 movies later. That's another one of our WonderCon panel exhibitions there. But before we get there, there's a solid classic. Well, actually, multiple classics in the next panel that we both went to.
Yes,
and that was the FX breakdown.
The artists who build the universes.
Yes, these were several people in the effects department. Like the practical effects part, like some like my favorite people to learn things from, and we're watching scenes and clips of how
test footage
they did the Independence Day explosions in the White House and New York. We're seeing scenes from Terminator 2,
nuclear fallout scene.
What was the name of the scene? Nuclear Nightmare. They called it Nuclear Nightmare
when
scene.
When you got. I was gonna say Linda Carter, fucking Linda Hamilton, dreaming about the fucking world being blown away because of a warhead, and like they told us how they built the stuff, and
that was so fascinating.
Yeah,
like the practical use of materials I never would have like guessed that they were using.
In the detail, like in buildings, they built like skyscrapers, and inside there was cubicles and things that you'd never see with the naked eye.
And I feel like when you generally think of miniature, you think it's super small, like micro machines or some shit. Like you think it's like like train sets, but miniature or small scale can also be like 1/5 size. It's very like it's still big.
Yeah.
So the scene of the nuclear blast hitting the city skyline it took up an entire soundstage. Like it was enormous, and it looked like it was fascinating to hear how they accomplished it and how much work it took. The fact that they built
research, practicalities.
They built sets that you could reset.
Yeah.
Like you could knock these buildings down and they could have them back up within a couple hours. The entire skyline. That was just killer.
And not only just these older films either, like they show, well, I guess at this point it is older. They show The Dark Knight, the tumbler with the trash truck going, and they literally built the Chicago street structure in a giant warehouse just to film this little car chase-ish scene.
What was that?
That weighed like 300 pounds, 600 pounds, I think they said for the tumbler.
The trash truck was 300 pounds, smashing into a 600-pound Batmobile that they had to invent like all these mechanics just to make the physics work in the way that Christopher Nolan wanted it to look, because they straight up told him like, dude, that is not how physics works.
Yeah.
But they made it work. That's what's so impressive. Crazy. The shot of it's like the trash truck almost mounting the Batmobile and still pushing it. This is how they accomplished it, was doing this incredible like pulley system track down 120 feet of hand built fictitious Chicago street and then to think that the only blue screen they did was the tunnel end caps. Everything was practical for the most part. Like so much practical effects.
Blends in perfectly with the live actual stuff.
Amazing. That is honestly what I miss the most about those generations, like from Independence Day to Terminator 2, like we were talking about previously, is you have so few films that still incorporate these practical effects that are still accomplishable, but that is what the human eye believes. Like that's what we absorb. Even to this day, I still feel like those shots look so good.
Like when they first showed it, it's like, oh yeah, they shot. Oh, that looks believable. And then once they tell you and they pull back the curtain a bit, it's like, I guess I could see it, but hard to notice really.
That the classic shot of the beam coming down and destroying the White House. It's like it still looks massive. You watch the movie today, it still looks like a full size White House, but it is a 1/5 scale, and
it's about the size of a standard human. Really?
Oh,
Like
no,
almost 5-6 feet?
No, it was bigger than that because they showed a couple of the guys standing next. It's like a Volkswagen Beetle.
Okay.
Like, like.
Well, yeah, I mean height-wise. Wasn't a little... Oh, well, I guess it was on a raised platform.
It was on a raised platform, yeah, because they had to blow it up. But the brittle materials they build things out of, the whatever they're using to accomplish the end goal of having the audience believe everything they're seeing. And that was one of the coolest things. It's like the illusion. It's the magicians at work, you know? And that's truly what's happening in that department. And that was awesome to hear from the horse's mouth, That was a fun time. And they had so many, they ran out of time. They had so many stories
and these guys were joking around and just having a blast, and it was nice.
It was a blast to listen to them. Seriously. I'm a sucker for all of that stuff.
And then we left that, and we caught the panel called "The Birth of the 1990 TMNT Mothership Movie," which had the original feature film Ninja Turtle film screenwriter Bobby Herbeck, just talking about getting the rights to the comic and adapting it, and just trying to tell people and pitching it and being laughed out of the rooms by people like Ron Howard and Brian Grazer and people thinking he was high.
Yeah, people constantly asking him how stoned he was and shit. That was hilarious. It's interesting that you have this piece of like pop culture history that is ingrained into everything to a certain extent. You know, like he was saying, you can say Cowabunga Dude and most people will think you're referencing Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And it all started with this movie. And this guy who was on this very small group of people that believed this property was worth investing into and presenting out to the rest of the world. Because in case you didn't know, Ninja Turtles was a comic book first, black and white comic, not even in color. And then when they added
intense
color,
and badass and not watered down for kids like we know.
Yeah, for sure. But like what? Yeah.
Sorry. So the black and white.
Oh, like even when they added color, they didn't even have different
all
eye
red,
bands.
right?
They were all red. Yeah. So it wasn't until you got to this era of Ninja Turtles that it's truly becoming what we know it to be today, for sure.
And the way he got involved, he was writing a lot of movies that were like Jackie Chan movies and like Kung Fu style movies, and working with these like world renowned like Kung Fu style actors, and realized, I can put them in a suit and we can dub over them. Why not get this talent and we can do it on a small budget and probably make a crazy amount of money because kids love the cartoon that's currently out.
Yep. And that was all that existed at that point. And it was not mediocre Saturday morning cartoon, but it had a decent pull, but it wasn't commanding the attention that it eventually did.
Yeah.
That awareness. And he's so attached to the property. He's very emotionally involved in what's happening with it. And I'm looking forward to, I hope that they make the documentary about the making of the movie, because I know there's more stories to be told in this world.
This guy literally had to be cut off the mic. Like, he just did not want to stop talking about it. He loved it.
Kick in the pants. This guy, like, and then finding out he came up through the stand-up comedy world was so fun. Like, and it was clear once he mentioned that, I'm like, oh, well,
yeah. They showed up late. He was running down the aisles, apologizing to people, wearing this TMNT jacket. So excited to show us these Ninja Turtle shoes that he got on the exhibition floor.
But he's showing us from like 50 yards away, so you can't see him. Like, it's God.
Some of the stuff you're like, I don't know, this guy might be blowing things out of proportion a bit, sucking him.
It's the passion he's telling. He truly feels that strongly about.
And the fact that if he just gave up, we probably wouldn't have the movies or games or shows that we currently have, because he stuck with and pushed it so far up the hill.
No, that's definitely the thing. I truly believe we wouldn't. Ninja Turtles would not be what they are without that man.
Crazy.
Oh God, he had some stories with like Clint Eastwood and what can I think of his name?
Michael Bay. Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks has nicknames for him and shit. Like he's a cute little old man who's probably losing little bits of the story, but at the same time, it was so fascinating to see someone who's still so passionate about something from like our childhood. Like, that was so cool.
30 years at this point. God. Over 30 years working on that. It's insane.
And he's such a raff, according to him. He's a raff.
Yeah. he loves all the turtles, but Raph's
Raph
number
is his
one,
favorite.
even though it's a little contradictory, but whatever.
Yeah, right. It doesn't make sense. He seems it's like, I've been told I'm like a Mikey. I might be a little Mikey. I'm like, dude, you're like 100%.
And this
Mikey.
guy like was getting teary eye and whatnot throughout.
And that's
talking.
and it was very endearing to me.
Yeah.
It was just like, damn, dude, you still love it that much. That's so cool. I like. How often do you get to see that? I mean, even on the show floor, you have actors from other properties that are there doing signings and stuff, and like they're not crying every time they sign that thing. This guy probably would. You know,
100%.
That's what's impressive. That was cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was definitely worth that experience of just. And it was late, like like he was saying, like things were running behind, but he did not let that stop him.
No,
for sure. Oh
my
gosh.
Then after I went to this inside the writers' room. The channels, they are changing. It was called, and it was just a bunch of writers who were talking about the way things have been changing and talking about the way they got in. It was kind of nice.
What specifically was changing? Like what?
Well, essentially with like the smaller rooms, shorter staffing seasons, having to jump on multiple shows. And
a higher turnover rate.
And what they hope is coming, how we're now getting in, most of the streamers now want to get in ad revenues, and that could help get shows more seasons, hopefully, in their eyes, not just be canceled because they're not getting the numbers, quote unquote. And it was interesting because I knew that one of the guys on the panel did one of the first podcasts I used to listen to about writers that I didn't listen to in a while, but just walking in, I saw this guy who's on a podcast I always listen to these days with Kevin Smith, this guy Mark Bernard, and like just a bunch of like writers just talking and just having a fun time catching up, because you could tell it's been a while since all these people have been in a room together, all different shows that they've been on, but they just know one another. It's a small knit community, I guess. And later on, I went to the bathroom, and 20-30 minutes later, going down in the escalator, saw half of these people just standing by the escalators, just talking and reminiscing. So it was a fun time.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you went to what? Animals of Hollywood?
I saw Hollywood Animals wandering around. Now, actually, a side note, I did see some really cute. There was an incredibly cute dog walking around the WonderCon floor in a Sith robe with a red lightsaber in its mouth, and its owner like was walking behind it, and it was just trotting along, like wagging its butt, and it knew exactly what it was, just being cute as hell. And that was. I
saw him a couple times with Loki kind of Loki stuff horns. With a dagger in his head, in his mouth, and his hands.
It's very.
That'd be something.
Basically, its hands.
But you to talk about your panel, it sounded interesting.
So this morning I ended up popping into this panel called Animals on Screen, where it was a writer director, a visual effects supervisor, and an animal sanctuary founder that were all talking about kind of the trials and tribulations of including animals in film and television, and how we come from a really bad habit of demanding all these things be present and all these things be here on camera, and then not caring what happens after that point. Once we've
got the shots,
once we got the shot, once we've called it a wrap, it's over. That's on you. And the fact of the matter is, when you pull animals into this industry like this, they continue to exist. They're still alive. They're not human beings that can just go home. They need to be cared for, and it's not a cheap thing to care for. Her sanctuary is called Lions, Tigers, and Bears, and that's primarily a lot of the creatures that she's adopted. There's several states within the United States that still don't have animal control laws that dictate what's legal to own as a pet. So you go to the state of Texas, you can still buy fucking tigers and elephants and shit, and no one cares. Like, as long as they're not killing people, you're allowed to do that. And that was her main thing. She moved to Texas and started finding all these people dealing in exotic animals. The exotic animal trade is the third largest illegal trade in the United States after drugs and like prostitution.
Wow.
It's selling.
Like, who wants, like, why? Like,
hundreds of thousands of people want.
That's crazy.
The Texas and Florida, they were saying, have there are more big cats in captivity than there are in the wild. There's more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are in the wild on planet Earth. Like,
wow, that's
yes.
What are they doing with them?
Keeping them in their garages, in cages, in their backyards.
Well, this all sounds humane.
It's horrible. Like these are creatures that do not deserve to be kept in such conditions, and this happens on a daily basis. So their focus was like, we can tell stories including creatures like this, but where do we draw the line? And what I wasn't ready for was they started showing clips of the tiger that they featured in Life of Pi. So Life of Pi won an Oscar for visual production, like visual design.
Sure.
But they still had a real tiger. The trainer actually had charges against him. Like he was I don't think he was arrested, but he was fined for the abuse he put this tiger through.
Huh. Jeez.
And they showed this horrible clip of they were training it to do all the jumps they needed for the movie, and he would just whip the fuck out of this thing, and the tiger would like give up. It would roll onto its back, hold its paws up, trying to like cover itself, and he would just keep going, and he's swearing at it like, and then he just turned around and kind of laughed it off like, that's what you got to do. And that was already just was brutal. And then the next thing was like, oh, and here's the bear that we rescued. And she has this bear named Rocky that its previous trainer, who is like actually a very well-renowned Hollywood animal trainer, especially with bears. He was training his nephew with his bear. And this bear they were training it to attack, quote unquote, attack a person, a camera version of it. And it just whipped its head around and it just started biting him. And it took him to the ground and like the way you see a crocodile like roll with its prey, this bear was doing it with a person. And I was not fucking ready to see a video of that shit, but they just showed us without warning. And he didn't die immediately, but the guy bled to death. And like they played the 911 call of them saying like, we can't get him to respond and all this shit. And it's like, but you can't blame the bear because you're asking the bear to do shit that a bear does. Like this is just how a bear is. So they were able to keep the bear from getting put down. And now the bear's still alive and this sanctuary has a full acre to itself. No one's fucking with it. They feed him and he's just living a quiet life along with many, many, many other animals. They all have, every animal in the sanctuary has a minimum of 1 acre to itself.
Huh.
So it's
nice.
It's a 142 acre sanctuary. It's amazing the work they're doing. And I appreciate the visual effects artist was talking about how the inclusion of animals, if you're deciding to do that, as long as you do it early enough, you need to decide when you're doing the visual effects version of the animal and when you're doing the real one. And we can take a lot of pressure. We can take the heavy lift off the real animals, which frankly shouldn't have to be there. Our technology is getting so good. There's times, again, movies that are known for having quote unquote real animals on set are getting Oscars for their CG for replicating the animal that they're talking about, they're trying to brag about. So it's like, I'm sure there's been plenty of times we've even watched things and we didn't even immediately realize what we're seeing is a computer generated effect. And I think there's a lot of merit to that of let's let the animals be animals. If we want to use them as reference, that's fine. But applying the pressure that we apply to actors, their point was the things that we're willing or unwilling to ask a child actor to do, why are we then forcing an animal to do that? If we can't even if we can't do that, we shouldn't be forcing something else to do it. So that it was eye-opening. It was a very intense panel to start the day off with, but it was interesting. It was very interesting.
Fair enough. Moving to something lighter, we both joined up to watch the Collider Directors on Directing panel.
Yes, had some great names in there too.
God,
that was fun.
You got David Leitch. He did Deadpool 2, Bullet Train, upcoming Fall Guy. Then you had Radio Silence, the guys that did Ready or Not and the last 2 Scream movies. And then Wes Ball, I guess he did the Maze Runners, and he has the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes coming out. Mm-hmm. And just hearing these guys kind of talk about their process and all the different things they've done and the ways they've done it and just the passion, I guess, that you're getting.
It was interesting. One of my takeaways from it was how they talked about each other's work, like from a fan's
admiration almost.
Yeah, and it was pure like because these people who are directing things of that caliber, and it makes sense given the titles you mentioned.
Sure,
but they are still impressed by the spectacle. You should be able to just sit back, be taken away to another place. That's still my baseline for watching any single movie. Everything we review on here, it kind of comes back to what they were talking about, in that if I can forget either where I am or forget I'm trying to watch a movie, like I'm trying to watch a movie, and then I finally realize at some point, even when the credits rolling sometimes, that, oh shit, oh wait, I was just told about the story, I was taken away to another place, I was led to believe these actors are someone else. That is truly the target. That's what every movie should ever aim for. And all of these guys in this panel were like, that's their apex. That's what they appreciated about each other's work. And that's still what they were striving for. And none of them assumed they could do it too. That's what I like. They were very humble.
And it was nice because, like, instead of just opening up questions to the audience, which I think they did towards the end, they had people, notable people like Bear McCreary, Colin Trevorrow, Emily Blunt.
What's his name?
David. Glenn Powell.
Yes, Glenn Powell.
Homeboy that made Lost. A bunch of people just asking general questions and just hearing their answers and responses was kind of fun. The varying degrees.
Yeah. That it was very informative, and it was like motivating too. It just made like, fuck yeah. That's the passion. That's what I miss hearing about. It's what I miss having in my own heart when it comes to something creative. And that felt really good. That was probably one of my favorite panels we've seen so far. I was so caught. I wish it was a lot longer, honestly.
Easily could have been. That was the only one that started on time and ended on time. I feel like all the other panels I've gone to, they end like 10 minutes earlier than they say they're gonna.
They start late and then end 10, 15 minutes early.
And this one went a little overtime, which was kind of nice.
Totally worth it.
And we got clips of Radio Silence's new film Abigail about the young vampire girl killing people. Saw some bloody stuff.
Gotta be honest. When I initially heard about that movie, I was like, eh. When I saw the scene, I was like, okay, that actually looks like a lot of fun.
And they had a nice way of doing it because it was a gory scene and there was a gimmick going that they blurred out some stuff. And like, you got to see the movie if you want to fully see it.
That was a good tease.
That was fun. And then we saw a clip of Fall Guy with Gosling being dragged across the Sydney Bridge.
That was nuts.
And finding out that was real. They had 6 hours filming in the night.
Not even that long.
And
it was 3 hours.
And telling him last second, you're on a shovel being pulled on the highway.
The scene starts, he's standing on a shovel getting dragged behind a dumpster that he then has to jump into. Like getting pulled by a tow truck.
And as they're doing that, they're cross-cutting with Emily Blunt at like a rap party doing karaoke with the song overlaying everything happening.
And the lyrics are like wonderfully describing the tone of the scene they're in. It's very dramatic, but it's all talking about how the turn of events that are happening while this dumpster is spinning on the ground as it's getting pulled.
Gosling's getting his ass kicked by this big guy and just back and forth. Fun stuff there.
It's great. That was cool.
And then we got a little clip of Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that was but I liked how that put us in the world.
Yes.
He chose such a good scene of now I feel where we are.
It almost was reminiscent of the original Planet of the Apes with walking against the beach with the Statue of Liberty almost. Because you got this one ape on a chain with a human chain behind him, kind of being dragged across the sand.
And it's very much this because it takes place
hundreds generations
after. I think it's the next generation immediately after Caesar. So it's the sun has set on the initial empire that they have built, and now a lot of the apes have split up into their own tribes. So now the apes are even warring against each other. And
at this point, they can speak, which they haven't in the others. And
with the exception of the original.
I mean, in the trilogy we recently got.
Yeah.
And now the one ape we're following, I guess, hasn't seen other apes, and this is his first introduction to being around them. And it's looking like he's teaming up with the human.
Well, yeah, because he came from a very peaceful tribe that didn't didn't seek out other places. They lived in a very tight-knit community. They got along with humans. They had no problem. They were just like living things are living things. Who cares? But the next neighboring tribe they were super aggressive. They were big. They lived in like half a sunken like cargo ship that they used as basically an apartment building. They had other slave apes working for them. Like the society that was built up, it looked fascinating, and it was incredible to hear. And then so few of it was CG.
Yeah.
Apparently they
a lot
shot
of practical,
all of this in practical locations. They had real actors doing these things. So that was a cool
and little tidbit that was fun for the two directors of those films. Wes Ball was the director of that. He said at the same time he was filming that,
That's right.
David Leitch was filming Fall Guy over there, and Wes was hearing all these crazy stunts that were happening on this other set and made him excited to see this movie, and vice versa. Like David Leitch was like, oh wow, I was wondering what was practical, what wasn't practical in that scene. It was just nice hearing the banter, like Dennis was saying earlier.
Absolutely. Yeah, like again, it was that mutual respect they had for each other's craft, and no one was stepping on each other. It was very much a like us, excited talking about a movie. They're just, oh man, yeah.
Because you forget, most importantly, most of these people are fans themselves and want to make stuff. And even you hear that on the panel, they want to make things that they're passionate about, and not just the IP. They've all done IP, but
and they want to break the mold. Even Wes Ball, who was showing a sequel, was even like, he's still excited about doing something unique. It's scratching out your own piece. Excuse me, sorry. They were all very much excited about when you get to experience something new together.
Yeah.
And that's truly, I think, what is missing these days in
100%.
movie theaters. And the movie theater experience. That was touched on through multiple panels.
Yeah.
In fact, every missing going to the movies.
Of course, like I said, they did open it up to people in the audience asking questions, and the one that really struck a chord was, which streaming services is this movie going to be on? Or maybe that might have been somewhere else. Oh, that was the next one. Never mind.
Strangers.
Yeah.
A couple down, but we'll
never mind. But yeah, I guess moving on from this, anything else for this?
No, not for that one.
Right after that, we jumped into the panel for the new movie Boy Kills World.
Yes, starring Bill Skarsgård and a laundry list of recognizable actors.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone that touches this thing, I was impressed by. The only one I didn't know was the director, and so much faith was put in this guy, and he clearly seems to have a unique and exciting vision that I'm very much excited to experience. I've seen nothing for this movie yet.
No, I've been avoiding stuff.
That was awesome. Like, I loved what they showed us.
And like what we were just talking about earlier, talking about original content and making things you want to make. This guy, the director, sorry, we should say his name is Mortiz Moore. I might be saying that wrong, but 10 years ago, he just made this short film of something he wanted to see with his friends, and he was just passionate about it. And then he ended up getting in front of Sam Raimi, who was kind of helping him for the past 10 years, kind of get this on track to become an actual feature film. And on the panel, we had Sam Raimi, the director, Mortiz. We had Jessica Roth.
Moritz,
sorry. Brett Gelman, Sharlto, Copley, Famkey, Janessen, and Isaiah Mustafa.
Yes. Yeah. And it was fun to like when they were recognizing each other for each other's backgrounds, like how you got to this point, and everyone knowing the Old Spice guy, except for the South African, who's just like, what is this?
And there was this great, like, you could tell they just were having fun. Like, one guy's like, oh, you can tell my character is kind of the most important one. And then you have these two other guys being like, oh, the crew loved us the most. We were just fucking around all the time. And you could get that banter from the two of them in the audience.
Oh, that was fun. And then I feel like when you hear stuff like that, if you know they had fun making the movie, you're going to have fun watching the movie.
Yeah.
Because if you're having a good day at work, everything is going to run smoother. I mean, I feel like I've always experienced that on set. And then those shots will look better. You're willing to give a little bit more because you know it's worth the extra effort.
100%.
So this thing should be fun. I'm getting like Running Man vibes. I'm getting like sort of those like 80s dystopian high action, super octaney, over the top sort of shit.
And so kinetic, the camera movements and the style, like we were talking, just from the poster alone, everyone has their own distinct look and vibe to them that shouldn't fit together, but it looks like in this world they fit together perfectly.
The weird hook that I thought was kind of interesting was our main character is going to be deaf and mute, but the voice he hears in his head is a voice from a video game he played when he was a kid, and that is voiced by H. John Benjamin. So we're hearing his voice.
And if you're wondering who he is, you know his voice. He's Archer, Bob from Bob's Burger, and Coach McGurk. So many wonderful things. And it's interesting when they played the trailer, which neither of us have seen, and there's the voiceover from him. And at first, it sounded like it was like
I have to make a point. It wasn't the trailer that we watched. We watched an assembly that was specifically for the convention.
Yeah, it was kind of like a sizzly.
Because it was like you had a little bit of VO intro into a scene, and then we watched the scene, and then they played something that felt more like a trailer, and that's when we heard.
Like at first he sounded like he kind of sounded like a Mark Hamill gruff voice, and then it's like slowly blended into, oh shit, that's him, and it's like, what's going on there? I don't, but it was intriguing.
Yeah. It's something that they all identified with, of being like having a character that can't speak or hear the other characters clearly had an effect on everyone. And I thought that was really cool. The inclusivity of anyone who experiences any of those things in their personal life, doesn't matter. You still kick ass, just like we saw in this movie, or the scene that we saw in the movie.
There was some kick-ass stuff happening that probably is just barely scratching the surface. 100%.
That I gotta say, on the poster art of him holding this, like, it's like brass knuckles, but it's like a 9mm pistol strapped to the back of it. And we didn't get to see it in the footage, but we got to see him put it on. And it's like, oh, I want to see the damage he does with that thing, man. That's gonna be so cool.
100%.
Oh. Yeah, I'm pumped for Boy Kills World, man.
It should be fun, coming out in a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah. Coming up soon.
And then we moved over to something that when everyone behind it was talking, there was so much contradiction happening with the film, The Strangers Chapter 1.
Yes.
They said, oh, it's not a reboot, it's not a sequel, it's not a continuation.
It's not a reimagining.
It's a retelling. It's like, motherfuckers, that's the same fucking thing.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
So and it clearly takes place in a contemporary modern time, because there's too many indicators in the footage we saw that it is totally present day. So it can't predate the other movie, but it doesn't predate. It's not a prequel. I think where we saw something that was just too much drinking your own Kool-Aid. They got super deep on making this movie, and that you can't back out of it at this point.
And it's like it was 3 movies essentially. Over 6 hours.
280-page script they wrote first. Now I will say that is kind of cool.
No,
that
100%.
They took this 280-page script and they're like, this is the movie we want to make.
Shot it all at once.
Of course, they're like, no, that's not one movie. I'm like, okay, fine. What if let us shoot all of it and then we'll break it up into 3 movies? But we have to let us decide where those breaks are. I'm like, okay. That's
now the thing I really liked about this, they said that they only shot in 60 days. Most movies, at least 20 to 30 days per movie. And this is 3 movies. So it's like they really were squeezing their days.
You're talking about a schedule that's usually like 1, maybe 1.5. That's one movie stretched out and we're doing at a slow pace. But holy shit, that much filming. And then it's all night shoots. 90% night shoots. I would assume the first few minutes are probably in the daytime that we saw in the trailer. And
in the panel, we had the director, Rennie Harlan. We had the executive producer, Courtney Solomon. This stars Madaline Petsch.
Madaline Petsch and Froy Guterriez. Madaline Petsch is also the executive producer of the film.
And she wasn't initially, but she was putting so much work in on set.
Like, what conversation was that? That you're finally okay, you get to be exec on this thing.
And it's I didn't know who she was. Apparently she's in Riverdale, but people were losing their shit when they saw her.
Riverdale still got its following. It's I don't get it, but fair enough.
Hey.
People were freaking out for her. which they seemed everyone was pleasant enough. The director was hilarious. I loved hearing that.
He's the director of Die Hard 2,
Cliffhanger.
Oh, so many classics,
killer action movies. And he's directed a lot of sequels. That was his thing. Is like, I've picked up a lot of series as they've been moving, and the guy clearly gets that part of the formula. What I'm curious to see is how it all melds and blends together in something where we have an established IP. There's already 2 movies that came out years ago. It already has this underground cult following for something that was so big. But now we're going to do it again.
And it's like, they're like, well, what we're doing here, we're not going to find out the real backstory behind these guys, but we'll learn more about them, and they don't talk. And we're going to learn things that you don't learn in the first movie, but it made no sense.
Yeah,
it's not necessary. That's what made the first movie so good. Not knowing these things.
You're not intriguing me by saying we're going to learn things that we didn't know before, when that is the whole hook.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care who Leatherface is. You know, I don't care who fucking any of these.
Yeah, not necessary. We're there for the gore, action, suspense, drama.
I'm curious to see how it plays out. My only motivation for possibly seeing this would be to see how 1 transitions to 2, transitions to 3.
Yeah,
knowing they had to film it all like in one seamless set, I get the strong feeling they're gonna go reshoot. They're gonna shoot more stuff based on the audience reactions.
That would make sense.
No studio would be like, nope, you can't shoot anything else. They would be like, nope,
do what you got to do. Yep,
appease the audience now.
But it's like, and it's crazy because we're getting this one in a couple months, and then I think they said in the fall we're getting the second. And I would only assume if it's summer or fall, probably the winter we'll get the third one. So it's nice that we're not waiting a year or 2.
No, it seems to be about a 6 to 8 months.
Oh, okay.
Spain.
Yeah, and I think when I first saw the director talking last year at New York, they want to give it enough time so you can get to know what's happening in the first movie, talk about
that
it,
makes sense.
And then jump in. Okay, here we got to see this next one when it's fresh in our minds.
Oh, for sure.
So I think within the next year we'll have all 3 of them released. I don't know, but
you could probably tell from, at least, I don't know, my tone of voice here. It's not. I may not be the most excited, but I'm intrigued by what they accomplished. You know, like it's okay. It's like you told me how you did it.
Sure.
Let's see what you did with that time now. Let's see what what this cabin in Romania that's supposed to be Portland, Oregon, which looks nothing like Portland, Oregon, I might add.
Well, you know, it's always when you know the place, it doesn't look like it, but to the audience, you don't know the place. What really takes me off is when you see doorknobs like in high areas in movies, they're like, oh, that's not America.
Well, but then there's things about like how things are built, how the like
structures,
where that gas station was offset from the road. There was things about like how things were laid out that I'm like, that there's no.
Yeah, but that's just the fact that you know the area. Like people like me don't know the area.
I know, but that's what I'm commenting on.
Yeah.
It's having known the area.
Yeah,
don't sell me on something that this is not what that place looks like.
Yeah.
When it's not hard to even look online. You don't even need to go there. But most of America isn't laid out like that, I would have to say. Because at first I thought it's like, when they said Portland, I'm like, oh, this can't be Oregon. This must be Maine.
Yeah.
And then they said Oregon. I'm like, oh, no, this is not the Pacific Northwest. Which is funny because the executive producer is from Washington State, like she liked to mention. And I'm like, well, then why didn't she say anything about these things looking wrong? But let's just reserve that for the review. How about that?
Oh boy.
The Strangers Chapter 1 coming whenever.
Yeah, a couple months, I guess.
But you had another.
I just had one more, which was the Chucky season 3 part 2. Because of the strikes, they weren't able to film their whole season, so now they're coming back in a couple of weeks. And it was essentially they showed us the opening of the first episode of the second half of the season. You had the main cast there, except not the Brad Dourif or whatever the guy who plays Chucky, and it was just them talking about their experience over the last 3 seasons and the growth of the characters and where things have gone and where your typical kind of TV-ish panel,
like a fill-in teaser sort of thing.
Yeah, which is weird because in the past the Chucky panels they show a whole episode, but they didn't do that here, and it's like, okay, get it. You want people to watch?
They were because which service?
Well, that's the thing. It's on Peacock, Sci-Fi, and I want to say USA. Like it's a weird way they release the show.
Well, they definitely want you to. They want you to sign up for that
somehow.
Peacock.
Yeah. And then the interesting thing, earlier in the week they announced, or maybe a couple of days ago, and the director talked about it, as this is all going on, is developing another Chucky movie that does affect the world that we're seeing here. And characters from the movie will be in the show and vice versa. And it's just interesting to hear because where they're at now, Chucky is quote unquote aging and dying and not really. It's weird where they're going with it, but intriguing to see how they get out of where they're at and make more movies as the TV show's going. I don't know. And the whole time, like, there was a Chucky doll right behind me and it looked like it was just fixated on me. And I used to be deathly afraid of Chucky as a child. And
speaking of which, the last two panels we were talking about also had some fun, like during the Strangers Chapter 1 panel, they actually had the strangers wandering around in the like they were walking between the aisles and they were sticking their faces like the quote unquote scarecrow. He was walking around with his axe and he'd be like slapping into his hand. And it was like, okay, I like that.
It had a little atmosphere sort of like to
fun
it.
Atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then for Boy Kills World, although I didn't understand it, the day before, I was seeing these security guards running around in like yellow uniforms. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
But they were just like quietly walking around, milling about. And then today at the Boy Kills World panel, they like were in vanguard over the panel on either wing of the ends of the panel. And it's like, this is why. And they showed a clip of these are the governing bodies, security guards. This is like their police. So it's like, there it is.
Yeah. It
clicked. That's fun. I liked that little bit of flair.
Because the whole time you see them there and you're wondering, what are they going to do? And it's like, I guess they're not going to do much. Their presence, like when we were on the exhibition hall floor yesterday, we came across what I assume is a Borderlands area.
Yeah. There was a group of like 8 psychos wandering around and they were just handing out posters for the Borderlands movie.
But when we saw them, they were just, handing out posters in a booth that had no promotion, didn't say anything whatsoever.
Naked table, no backdrop, nothing.
It was weird.
And they were like kind of tweaking out, but they were still like...
You knew what they were doing, yeah.
It was like, okay, this is a fun like underground sort of thing. But it was a little like, you didn't have... I mean, this is fucking Borderlands. I didn't think it'd be a little bigger, but we've got to spread the love about.
But yeah, that's been anything else you've done.
Well, other than getting to hang out with some 501st folks and talking to some comic book people, there's some stuff. There's a panel I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I might have mentioned it in the show before. I'm a bit of a gamer myself. I do enjoy a lot of very immersive like RPG games that really try to sell you on the place you are. And there's a panel that's going to be talking about taking video game properties and translating them into film and television. And their main example will be Fallout, given that is coming out in just a couple weeks here. And it's one of my all-time favorite video games, just period. So I'm very much looking forward to not only the show, but to see what they're going to be talking about there. They're going to talk about The Last of Us, and they said they're going to tease some other upcoming projects, which I'm assuming is probably Borderlands now that we've been mentioning that. That's sense. The most likely thing, since they paid a bunch of actors to run around and hand out the posters. But even still, like, why not? I mean, an Eli Roth fucking Borderlands movie.
Now, I'm not going to lie, the trailer, I wasn't a giant fan of it. I talked to one of my old roommates and said exactly what I was thinking. Like, it just looks like these actors are cosplaying as characters in this world, and it looks like a knockoff of Guardians of the Galaxy almost.
It's a lot of flair.
Yeah.
I will say though, that is kind of what a good amount of the game feels like that too. So that's where my concern is, like, that was never a game I assumed would translate straight to a movie. So the fact that they chose that, I'm a little surprised. Like, I would have thought Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, that lends itself perfectly.
It has a beautiful narrative and so much depth to the story. There's a lot of range to it. You could make 6 movies between the 2 games. So yeah, I'm not like expecting. Greatness, but
it should be interesting.
I want to be amused. That's all.
Great, interesting cast. Give it that. What? Kate Blanchett, Kevin Hart. Jack Black,
Claptrap.
so many other like
That
people popping up. Like it's like, okay, I guess, but I feel like it's been finished for a while, or they filmed a while ago, and then there were some reshoots that Eli didn't do, and there was some talk.
I know. Didn't COVID slowed it down too? Because I want to say that's when they were starting to make it, and then it all had to stop down or something. Like,
well, I mean, probably, but then they did finish it, and
for sure.
Yeah, and then needed massive. It sounds like reshoot. Whatever. Yeah. Everything needs reshoots before it goes out to the world.
It's an incredibly CG heavy thing. That's the thing. Is like the things that you're used to seeing in the game. I just don't see how any of it will straight translate into a movie. Like I'm excited for when they get to shoot shoot a berserker's head off, and there's just going to be this headless body running around trying to murder our heroes, because that's what's supposed to happen. That's what happens in the game. That's what the berserkers do. And that, as the fans of the game would know, that's just the tip of the iceberg. So there's all sorts of other stuff that we should expect to see. So I'm like, which things are you going to pick and choose? Like that's going to be heavy. Yeah. I will say I'm a lot less worried about like the Fallout series, because
that looks like they put time, effort, and stayed true from. I don't know. I've never played it, but
hey, everything you just said, I would back up, because everything that has been shown so far has led me to believe you paid attention. You listened to what the fans enjoy about this world. And I'm very much excited to see that Amazon series.
Which is interesting, because for the most part, these movies haven't been great, like video game movies for the most part, until as of recently. But the TV show's been knocking it out of the park.
Yeah. What's the deal? Video game shows.
I guess I feel like it's the more time you get to develop this stuff and spend with the characters.
Well, if you think about it, that is how you get to know the characters in the video game.
Yeah. You don't not all in a nice 90-minute bow.
Exactly. You're not beating the game in 90 minutes. You're beating the game over the course of many days, many hours. And that's what it should feel like.
Yeah.
Because you're really, truly bonding when you get invested in those stories. You're really bonding with the experiences they're going through.
Sure.
And a movie doesn't really offer you that chance. It needs to understand the framework it lives in, whereas a series, you, like Adam was saying, you get to cultivate all of that time. You really get to appreciate everything that's happening. And that's why I'm fanboying out for that. But this isn't TV taquitos.
Should be interesting. And hopefully tomorrow it looks like we might be interviewing the creator of the Gargoyles TV show from back in the day, and have some video for that soon, or audio. But yeah, I mean, not the best con I've gone to, not the worst, but nice to be here.
For me, it was the first, so I have no frame of reference. I'm having a good time so far. I can see the things Adam's talking about. I can see the seams of that. Like you're saying, there's several panels we went to where like they started 10-15 minutes late.
It's a little sloppy, like not run super smooth.
Videos weren't playing, and like they didn't have the smoothest transitions from one thing to the other.
It feels kind of scrappy, but it's nice. Like people are happy to be here, and it's not crowded and overpacked with things.
Milling around the like exhibition floor was like not walking around with your friends, but like your neighbors. Like no one was like annoyed at seeing you. I've only had pleasant interactions the whole time. So I will say this community at WonderCon is very nice. It's a cool group of folks. Also, this is just the kind of shit I'm into for the most part. But I mean, go figure, it's a convention. But it's been a fun time. I would love to do it again. I hope they have us back, and we can cover some more fun stuff for you next year.
Yeah,
that's for sure. And we got one more day. Not much left to do, but we got one more day. Maybe we can squeeze out something else that we haven't mentioned yet.
Yeah,
but,
you never know.
We will definitely let you folks know. I don't know. It's been a fun time. I'm glad we can do this together.
100%. Yeah, it's nice to not have to kind of fuck around and one person goes or no one goes or whatnot.
And getting to record this in person together. That's been fun too. So,
I mean, it wasn't the smoothest setup and go around with the Wi-Fi and whatnot, but hey, we're here. It's happening. It's not live for you, but it's happening. Who watches live? 2, maybe 3 people come and go. But whatever.
We appreciate it though, regardless.
And that brings us to, after a long-winded 50-something minutes, let's get into some old polls. All right, up first.
Polls.
In our last episode, 185, dinosaurs versus zombies, whatever it's called. I reviewed the latest Killer Doll movie, Imaginary. So I wanted to know what the audience's favorite Killer Doll film was out of Megan, Annabelle, Puppet Master, and Child's Play. Any of those? And it's a loose because they're not all exactly dolls or killers or whatnot, but in that zone.
I mean, I've seen Child's Play, so I can't even pick a favorite really.
Fair enough.
I mean, Chucky's probably up there.
Sure.
Because he scared me.
Sure.
But I will say, walking through the video store and seeing the front cover for Puppet Master scared the shit out of me as a kid.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the fucking Child's Play scared me. You had Chucky, I think, 2 cutting a Jack in the Box's head off, and I don't know how that was scary, but it was.
I'm with you there too.
So 0% for Annabelle, which is kind of surprising because I thought people really liked that. Well, serious? 0% for Puppet Master.
That's surprising too. What? None of you guys really?
I thought there'd be some love out there.
Some underground like horror fans here.
No Full Moon fans. 20% for Child's Play, and 80% for Megan. I still don't get the Megan craze. I got to give it another watch.
That's like maybe I should try watching it. I got to be honest. I was not intrigued by that whatsoever. But creepy kids be creepy. I get it. Like The Orphan. I liked that movie when that came out.
Sure.
Now that we got that was the other movie they talked about at the panel. Abigail.
Yes.
That's like that looked intriguing.
Yeah.
Creepy kids.
They always
can be creepy as fuck. That was one I just don't. I mean, yes, it's a robot, but you know what I mean.
Robot child.
I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. And up next, I reviewed Kung Fu Panda 4, so I wanted to know what the Toastie's favorite Jack Black movie was out of Shallow Hal, King Kong, Tenacious D, and The Pick of Destiny, and Tropic Thunder. Some okay movies, I guess. No, there were others, but
I'm like, I feel like I would add things to that list, but they wouldn't be my favorite Jack Black movie. I mean, probably Pick of Destiny, dude. Come on.
It's guilty pleasure. Every time I watch it, things grow on me. Tropic Thunder, I went for
fantastic.
I went for Jack Black, but left for Robert Downey Jr. And
fair enough. Yeah, I'd say I probably showed up for Ben Stiller, but then I ended up leaving, loving Tom Cruise even more.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. Stole everyone by surprise.
Well, there's that whole rumor they were talking about.
Les Grossman movie for years. They were talking about that.
Oh God,
why not?
But I feel like he would be the bottom line saying no, he can't.
No, he's the one that wanted to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, maybe one day. You never know.
Listen to Tom Cruise. I mean, a little.
I mean,
that much. At least that much.
Depending what he's talking about.
That subject specifically.
Yeah.
If he starts talking about aliens flying out of volcanoes, then you'd shut it down.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
You don't need to jump on couches. So 0% for King Kong. Doesn't surprise me so much.
Fair enough. Although, great movie.
Good movie, yeah. And let's see, 25 for Shallow Hal. Doesn't surprise me, but more than I expected. Yeah. 25 for The Pick of Destiny.
That's about what I figured.
Yep. And of course, 50% for Tropic Thunder. That's the biggest movie here, the most fun movie here, I think.
That is one of those. I feel like when I'm on set and there's that casual lunch conversation of like, you're talking about your favorite movies, like when the subject of favorite comedy comes up, that is the title I hear most often.
I mean, you're dealing with crew members that are dysfunctional, so that makes sense. Well, in the film subject,
exactly, but that's exactly
which you don't see very often.
Speaking to not only the general audience, but the people who make movies are even identifying with it, and it's I think that is the heart and soul of that thing, right?
100%.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Still stands up. I mean, that's like a 3 or 4 times a year movie in our house.
Oh, I wish I got it that much. I feel like maybe once every couple of years, and I don't know why. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah. Oh, that's surprising.
I don't go back and rewatch movies as much as I used to, which is kind of weird because I should. But
fair enough.
I just got too many of these new fuckers to watch. So
speaking of new fuckers,
let's
we
get
got one fuck to fuck brand new.
Oh boy,
Adam, I think you're up first.
Oh, well, yes, I got the new A24 movie, Love Lies Bleeding. This is a film about a woman who runs a gym in this small western town. She doesn't feel happy or content being there, but she stays there to kind of protect her sister and her sister's kids because her husband's kind of a piece of shit who abuses her, and she kind of stands up for her sister and helps take care of things for her. And she really wants to leave, and she hasn't seen her dad in a while because he's done some shady things, and it's alluded that she's been a part of them but didn't want to be a part of them. And then one day, this kind of vagabond woman who's going to a muscle building competition in Las Vegas is kind of rolls into town. She's homeless, but she ends up in the gym working out, and the two start a relationship. She ends up moving in with Kristen Stewart's character. They have this pretty good relationship, and then it's a little dysfunctional because Kristen Stewart gets her to start taking roids, and she wasn't the type of person who would do that before. She was actually doing things the right way, and the roids start kind of taking effect on her in different ways that you could imagine they would. And then one day, the sister that Kristen Stewart's character is trying to protect ends up in a coma after her husband does something, and the girlfriend goes and kills the brother-in-law, and it's about covering that up and trying to get away with it, and the suspense and action. It's like, it's a slow burn, but it's not like pulling taffy. It's kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. There's always something visually odd and off about it. It definitely has that A24 style vibe to it. And the end is A24 all the way. I'm like, I get it now. Did not see any of this crazy shit happening. And the woman in the relationship, the other woman, the muscle woman, is Katie O'Brien, I believe her name. I don't think I've seen her in things before, but she's a pretty good actress. Dave Franco is the abusive brother-in-law. Jenna Malone is the sister, and the dad is Ed Harris in this very creepy role. He owns like a gun range, and he's like smuggling drugs and stuff, and he has this infatuation with bugs, and he like raises these exotic bugs, and he has like a shaved head but long hair on the side. Very creepy and odd character, and it's kind of fantastic, really. Everyone's giving top-notch performances. I didn't think I'd like this movie as much, but I really had a good time watching it, and this was fun to watch with an audience. You could hear people's audible gasp at things like that. I'm going to give Love Lies Bleeding, currently in theaters, I'm going to give it 2.5 slices of toast.
Nice. Okay.
Could have been more, but, you know, felt a little long, but not too many complaints on my end.
Yeah, that's worth at least a watch.
Yeah. Up next, I have the latest Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This takes place in real time after the last Ghostbusters film, Afterlife. Now the Spangler family and the teacher, Gary Gubler, I believe is his name, they're living in New York, but not alone in New York. They're living in the Ghostbusters HQ firehouse, and now they're busting ghosts as the Ghostbusters as a family.
They inherited the property, right?
Yeah, well, Zedmore Winston bought it and because it was kind of condemned, and he's kind of pulling the strings, and he has like a whole bunch of stuff happening with that. It's nice to see Winston have a more prominent role in this. And then so we kind of meet up. They're kind of working as a family as Ghostbusters. It's going all right, but they're causing a lot of chaos in the city because they're busting ghosts, but they're causing trouble, destroying things because it's a messy job. And I want to say the guy who was from the EPA in the beginning is now the mayor, or someone who wanted to shut them down in the original movies is like trying to shut them down again. And they say, hey, this young girl, the daughter, she can't be doing this. She's too young. She's a kid. And so she gets benched. She doesn't like this. So she's kind of pissed. And she ends up meeting this ghost and having a friendship with this ghost. And it's kind of interesting. But yeah, it's weird because we're not seeing the ghost busting happening after that. We're mainly following that girl Phoebe a bit. And
I feel like the last one kind of did that for quite a while too, though.
Yeah.
And I loved.
No, yeah, that was one of my favorites. Yeah, the last one was great. And this one kind of feels like it's in between the original Ghostbusters and Afterlife. Like it's somewhere not exactly like each of them, but has its own flair. But it's nice because this has music cues pulled from the original Ghostbusters, and you're seeing classic ghosts. There's some practicality of stuff here. You're seeing ghosts from the past.
Interesting, because this is what I was wondering about this movie was when I didn't mind that in the last movie we spent so much time establishing where we are, or why the characters are doing what they're doing, and all that stuff. The connection from here to the last film.
Yeah, but
I kind of hoped in the next film we were just kind of jumping right in, but that doesn't really sound
well, like we're jumped in. It's already happening. It's going, but they're going on missions without her, and we're not seeing those missions.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
she decides to try to take missions on her own, and it backfires in a bit, but the main plot kicks in very late in the game. Like we a couple, like half an hour, at least a scene, an act into the movie, Kumail Nanjiani goes to this shop where this strange old guy, aka Dan Aykroyd's character, owns, and he buys these odd objects and kind of tries to get things that he thinks are possessed. And Kumail's like, "Oh, I got some really weird things here from my grandmother. She was kind of crazy." And like he's pulling things out of the box, and he's really excited because like he's like doing like EKG, not EKG, like a ghost meter thing, and this ball has this great power that just is, he's never seen anything like it before. And essentially we find out that it's housing this terrible like spirit inside of it, and it's trying to get out, and it wants to get out and kind of unleash havoc and free all the ghosts that the Ghostbusters have busted in the past, and kind of destroy all humans.
Kind of a classic second movie response.
But that stuff is intriguing, but doesn't fully happen until about the end of the second half. Damn. It does not release. Right. And that's when it starts releasing the Frozen Empire on the big city in the summer, which you're seeing in the trailer, which I thought was the whole movie dealing with that. And I will say, spoiler, sorry, the ghosts, they get released. But the way it's resolved is so quick and so rushed. I'm like, this should be a whole movie, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And you're getting all the classic original Ghostbusters. You're getting them back in here. But I don't know, they just come and go from scenes. You're like, oh, you can tell they got them on this day. And they literally will appear in scenes out of nowhere, and then they disappear, and then they come back. They just feel shoehorned in there, like forced in there. Like they're given more to do, which is nice, but it just doesn't feel genuine to the story. Like I get, you're going to see Winston a little bit because he's funding it. And sure, you get Dan Aykroyd, but Bill Murray literally just pops up here and there. It's nice. There's a little Patton Oswalt cameo. That's kind of fun. He plays librarian that knows all these myths and stuff. And Kumail has a really fun arc in this and kind of steals the show, him and Paul Rudd's character. And there's this weird, like Paul Rudd feels like the stepdad, but he's not the stepdad. They're not married. They go way out of the way to say we're not married. And it's just awkward because like, just fucking say they're married now and be over with it. But I don't know. It's a fine movie. Not as good as the last one.
Yeah. I had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah. But overall, I enjoyed it. I'm going to say I give it 2 slices of toast, I think.
Oh, yeah. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Like I enjoyed it, but do I want to rewatch it after no, I don't. But after I saw Afterlife, I want to rewatch that right away. Yeah. I will see this again, but I won't go out of my way to see it. And I saw it in IMAX, and it was okay, but not as breathtaking.
I'd say Afterlife, I think we both gave it at least 3.5.
Yeah, I think so.
That was fucking solid, man.
Yeah.
Well, all right. At least the next film we get to tag team.
That's true.
Get you tag teaming in.
Just watch this bad boy before recording. Whew, you want to set it up, old Roadhouse?
Well, here we are with a reimagining, because apparently not everyone wants to do that.
Yeah,
a reimagining of the classic Patrick Swayze Roadhouse film. So I was curious coming into it, is this going to have anything to do with it? You're clearly told right away this is not the case. It's an entirely new thing. Don't try to shuck it all off. But it starts off kind of badass. It's this big, I'd say mid-range MMA fight. We get this guy just Post Malone is just beating the shit out of this guy, and he's getting ready for his next fight, and then he finds out who it is, and it's Jake Gyllenhaal's character, our main character for the film, and he backs out because he's like, no, I'm not gonna fight him. No way. That guy fights dirty. I'm gonna die. There's no way I'm gonna do this. I have to say though, giving that quickly, finding out you gave Dalton a different first name, and its first name is Elwood, was a little weird. They never say his first name in the first movie, so I was just like, oh, that's the direction you wanted to go with. Okay, but it's roughly similar. This washed out MMA fighter gets in a scuffle. He gets picked up at a kind of a shitty highway gas station area, like, hey, why don't you come be a bouncer at my bar? Ooh, maybe. And then of course he shows up because we're watching Roadhouse, and we go to this small little strip mall place where you see a fucking restaurant, like, or a convenience store or something called the Double Deuce in the background. So you're like, well, fuck, I know that's not the place he's coming to secure. And of course it's not, but that was the lamest like reference so far. And then he goes to a bar literally called the Roadhouse on the highway out in the Florida Keys. And that's where I knew I was not going to like this movie. At that point, I had given up all hope. There's a couple of characters that stand out, that we had some other performances that were entertaining. But just the delivery, I was not on board with. I didn't like that. I don't know, for me, one of the most charming things about the original film was that Dalton has earned this sort of presence and respect, and he knows how to handle. He's the cooler. He knows how to run this side of the business. Though there's this great, like, he's working at the last bar, and he shuts down this fight, and he gets his car fucked up by the guys who were pissed that kicked him out of the bar. But then this is normal routine. We just see him go to a used car lot, turn the car in, he buys a new one, and fucking drives it off to the next gig, because this is just how it works. This movie never felt like he earned that charm, or like he has swagger, but not in the fucking category that Dalton should have, in my opinion. And I know I might be attaching so much to the original film, but even just watching this for its own merit, like, so this drifter just knows how to do this stuff, even though he's an MMA fighter with no experience in like the customer service industry, but apparently he's good at it. And that, like, but that applies to everything else in this. Our villain is even like, he's actually the son of the villain, but the main villain we don't hardly ever meet. The most charming of the villain camp is an actor I loved over at Broad City.
He's fantastic. He was
in this, fucking wonderful, and he had some of the best. He had the best one-liners.
Arturo.
Yes.
Yeah, like, he stole the show. Like, whenever he popped up,
Arturo Castro.
He got his ass kicked by Gyllenhaal, and then he's just charming. And like, whenever he sees him later, he's like, kind of respects him. He says hi. You can tell he doesn't want to fuck with him.
I just want to ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
And you got to ride in a group when you're riding motorcycles down here. That was just every interaction with him was just a fucking gem.
He was the best character, I think.
Joaquin de Almeida that played like the main antagonist behind the scenes. I like that guy. He's Django Fett. He was in the Clear and Present Danger. He's been a great villain in so many other movies. So I'm like, oh, this is natural. But he's like barely in it. We didn't even get to take advantage of him being the villain. The actual like villain we're fighting against is Conor McGregor. I think this is his first feature film debut. And Conor, please don't fucking show up and kick my ass. But I just wasn't buying it. His delivery just did not fucking bring it home. And it was very like, it was over the top to a fault.
It was just very cartoony and happy.
Cartoony.
But at the same point, it's like, A, that's probably how it was written, and B, he didn't get directed well, apparently, if they didn't hone it in.
Because who's going to tell a guy that has like nearly killed people what to do?
Someone who's running the show.
You'd think.
Yeah.
But this guy also does not abide by fucking the laws of man. So I think it was a miscast from the beginning. I don't think he had any business being in this movie. Did he look good fighting Jake Gyllenhaal? Sure, because he's a fucking MMA fighter. You know who didn't look good fighting Conor McGregor? Jake Gyllenhaal, because we had to make this dude look like he could kick Conor McGregor's ass. And I really had a hard time buying a lot of those fights. I had a hard time buying a lot of the action in the movie because the way they incorporated obvious CG into their camera coverage and this kind of not handheld thing they were doing, where you were doing these like floating wraparound shots around the action that didn't really, in my opinion, do a good job of capturing the intensity, when it was more like bad video game third person camera jumps that like it was struggling to keep up with all of your control inputs. That's what it kind of felt like to me with a lot of those moments. I mean, and then his decision making was insane. Like, some spoilers here, spoiler, but like he's going to rescue his girl, and his whole fucking back pocket fucking trick is to blow up half the boat. He doesn't know where the fuck she is. He could have killed her with that fucking move. I'm like, this is the dumbest. And the whole movie feels like this, and it's not even fast. It's a little over 2 hours long. Like, it is pulling teeth, in my opinion. I wanted to enjoy it. I was like, hey, this should be a fun romp. You know, that's what I was feeling like coming into it. And I was kind of like, I'm going to suspend a lot of other things. I at least expect to get some references to the first one, but that was one pill I had a hard time swallowing.
Now the director is Doug Liman. He did Swingers, Born Identity, Jumper, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Edge of Tomorrow. He's done like pretty good things, but it's like, oh wow, you're doing this. And I'll be honest, I've never seen the original, so I'm going in blind here. And I liked it, but I feel like if they didn't call it Roadhouse, it could have played better.
Yes.
Like if it was just a movie about a washed up MMA fighter who's gonna go do some
coming in
help,
life.
Find his passion to help a small town. All right, cool. Now, Jake Gyllenhaal, like you said, it's not believable as a badass MMA fighter.
Which is ironic because he literally started in
Southpaw,
which like that's it was more believable there.
Right.
But for like just the way, sorry, I didn't mean
no, yeah.
But it's like it's like, dude, we know you can do it.
Yeah.
Did you just not care? Like, did you just not want to?
Right.
I remember hearing it. I thought it was funny on the drive over to pick you up from the airport. My favorite radio station, their morning show, Heidi and Frank, they were talking about how like, why is like, we know he can do this. I feel like he just took this job to get paid to work out. No. I listened to it on a bunch of podcasts. He loved the original, and once he heard, Roadhouse, and him and Lyman wanted to work together, he jumped on it. Pretty much didn't ask any questions, just wanted to be a part of it because of the name. So I don't understand why. I don't know. That sounds like equivalent to free gym membership to me. Of like, that's not enough.
Yeah,
you can't just I like the original. Well, then fucking act like you like the original, man.
And the thing is, his character doesn't make much sense because it's like he knows all the right nerves and areas to hurt someone, the way to hurt someone. And he's a peaceful pacifist, and it's just like he's always smirky. And
our mid plot, like our mid movie twist, isn't even like a twist.
Yeah,
you saw that shit coming from like a mile away.
And he's killing people left and right, and it's like, wow, I thought I was supposed to like you, but you're killing people. I don't know how I fucking feel about this. And he's kind of like the Terminator. He was hit by a fucking truck, and then he fell off the back of a truck down into like the ocean and survived that, and survived swamplands. Got like his ass kicked multiple times and just was walking around like nothing affected. He was like a Terminator.
Yeah. And then the entire movie honestly feels like that. We're just going to present shit to you. We're going to shake it off, and we're going to show you the next thing.
And everyone was just making jokes. At first, I'm like, oh, this is cool. They have jokes. But everyone was just... And it sounded like improvs, and none of it really made sense. It's like they didn't know the tone they wanted to go with it, I feel like.
That's what they're missing, is like there would be these moments in the original one where it would simmer down. It would like... You'd hear something serious come out of a few characters. They'd speak on something that's like very applicable to the story being told. Sam Elliott's character in the first one is fucking fantastic. He brings that level of like the old hat coming in because he's been doing it longer than Dalton.
Oh,
that it worked in the first one so good. But that's because the talent you had in the first movie was so fucking good at acting.
And he's hired to be the bouncer. And he, in the beginning, just kind of lets shit happen. And then he's like, I'll take care of this. And then he trains a bartender to take his job, and then pulls a guy in who sells surfboards to train these guys. He's not even doing half the fucking work here.
That's the thing. That's what this remake is trying to emulate the first one, because in the first one, he's not pulling people out of different jobs. He's just teaching them how to do it right. And I feel like they were like, oh, we can't just do that again. So we got to do something like, and I'm like, no, this is fucking dumb. Because you are doing it again, but like in a worse way. He's supposed to, he's the fixer. He's the cleaner. That's the whole fucking thing.
And he's not fully doing his job. No. And it's like, and then it's like, I love Billy Magnuson. He's our bad guy.
Yes, he did a great job. I
don't buy him as like a bad guy, but I do like that he's kind of because he's like just the son kind of.
Yeah, exactly. I never believed he earned his status.
Yeah,
he's just that he's good at saying the lines. He's good at carrying himself on camera, but the background of his character, like what we're supposed to believe about him, I was not on board with.
Yeah, it just I don't know.
That sums up the whole movie for me, honestly, is just how I feel about all of it. I was severely disappointed. Roadhouse is one of those movies on the list. If you had to ask me a list of movies that really don't have to be remade, this would be on that list for me. There's no reason to remake Roadhouse. It is fine as it is. Steve McQueen's Bullet, like that movie, same thing. It's the original Conan, although they tried to do that and that sucked. I came in at least wanting to have fun, and I couldn't even have fun. Sorry, Jake. Sorry, Connor. Don't kill me.
Yep.
Adam, how many slices are you giving that music?
Honestly, I didn't hate it because I had nothing to base it off of. I think I'd give it 1.5 slices of toast.
Oh, I'm giving it 1. So we're not far off each other. There's some cool like actiony moments. Yeah, I would say there's some cool shots. I'm like there's spectacle segments that I'm like, oh, okay, that looked cool, but it never made sense how you got from one thing to the next. And that is my Anyways. Yeah. Fucking Roadhouse.
Yeah, if you liked it, let us know what we're doing wrong here. What we missed.
And then we'll tell you how you're wrong.
I don't know about that.
I'm possibly kidding. Come on.
All right, up to end things off here, I got the new MonsterVerse movie. Where's that slide? There we go. Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire. Wow. Let me try that again. Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire. So basically, this takes place years after Godzilla vs. Kong, and now Kong is living in Hollow Earth. He's kind of miserable. He misses his family. He's searching for other giant apes that just don't frankly exist really. And he's fighting the animals and creatures that are in Hollow Earth. And humans from Monarch are monitoring him. And it's weird because we're seeing the life of Kong. He's just like a human almost. Like, we're seeing him fight things. We're seeing him shower. We're seeing him like relaxing. And then on Earth,
exciting.
Honestly, it doesn't sound exciting, but it's cute and interesting because you're like, I guess Kong was always plucked from his land and brought into a world he didn't belong. Sure, and so now we're getting to really know and love him, I guess.
But didn't we see some of that in the last movie?
Probably, if I remembered much of it.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure we watch him bathe in the last movie. But,
well, you gotta have the hunks
Okay.
bathing. And up on Earth, Godzilla, his enemy, is still kicking it, fighting fucking kaiju. Sorry, what are they called? Gosh, they say it a million times in this franchise. Titans, not kaiju. They're called Titans here. Fighting Titans as they come, saving the world. And it's cute because he's kind of taken residence in Rome, and he's using the Colosseum as his home. You just see him cuddle up like a cat in the Colosseum. And then he's like, oh, I gotta wake up and fight the fucking Titans now. And at one point, Kong comes back up to Earth because he has a tooth infection, and they gotta help him. And they're like, what if fucking Godzilla finds out they're mortal enemies? And it's like, slow down, calm down, people.
It's a toothache.
Yeah. We see him bite something, and he hits bone on his tooth and chips it, and it gets infected. Okay. And they call him Dan Stevens, who was used to be a fuck up, but now he's a cool guy who is a vet to the Titans. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
But it's fun and interesting and intriguing, and we're following Rebecca Hall's character from the last movie. I say this because she says she was in the last movie, and I'm like, I guess I recall that. And she adopted a small child from Hollow Earth. I was going to say Middle Earth. And it's about her raising her daughter, and the daughter doesn't fit in on Earth. Her daughter is deaf and doesn't speak, and she just doesn't fit in and feel like she belongs because she misses it, and she longs for Kong because she fails for him.
Okay.
And she's getting these weird, she's going in trances and drawing these mountains and stuff. And what it really is, we find out that she is given seismograph things that are happening on Hollow Earth that's being transferred to her consciousness. And Rebecca Hall has to go to Brian Tyree Henry to be like, I need your help to figure out what's going on with my daughter. And he's like, after I helped save the day in the last movie and you guys act like I'm crazy and these trolls are saying I never did this, I guess I'll help you if you take me to Hollow Earth. And they end up on Hollow Earth because they find out what the girl's seeing in the seismographs is really an SOS from something down in Hollow Earth. And then we find out there's another giant as a King Kong type monkey who's riding on this lizard that's almost like a Godzilla that shoots out ice, and everyone's in peril. So they're we need to get Godzilla down here to help Kong. Oh, and I didn't tell you also, Kong hurt his hand, so now he has this metal brace on his hand that helps him.
Which, by the way, isn't even a surprise because it's in every fucking poster and trailer, and it's on all of the advertising media. Yeah. So I'm expecting that.
And there's a lot of punk rock style music in it, and it's in your face.
I gotta be honest.
I know. I'm well aware of.
You've lost me.
I don't know if I liked it or I didn't like it. I was really on fumes watching it at very late, which was 1 a.m. my time, trying to stay awake watching it. And I think I did a good job. And then we meet Little Kong Jr. And there's one scene where he's using this Little Kong Jr. as a fucking attack weapon, fighting other creatures with him. It's insane. It's silly. It's goofy. Adam Wingard is just having a blast, I guess. I didn't care for the last movie. I didn't remember much about it.
That was not great.
But I felt like we didn't get enough Kong vs. Godzilla in that movie itself. And this movie, we barely get them really together much. And it just feels unnecessary after seeing a show like Monarch, which fits in this universe, killing it so much, and let alone seeing Godzilla -1 do so fantastic. You figure, we're in a zone where now we can have a good time seeing these movies, and then we're getting shit like this. I don't know, man. I'm going to give Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, I'm give it 2 slices. Not great, not terrible.
Okay.
Not memorable. I mean,
more than I thought you were going to say.
Yeah. The humor played to me well. Brian Tyree Henry was great,
but that's not why you show up.
No, you show up for
Kong.
Yeah.
I want to see fucking Godzilla versus.
And they talk
Kong.
it up. They're like they're fucking enemies, but they'll work together to do this. And it's maybe I fell asleep and I missed that action, but
that's what's funny. If the characters even start saying that, I'm like, yeah, we know because it's the name of the fucking movie.
Yeah.
Don't tell us. Just show it to us. That panel, the directing panel that we watched, they were talking about that, like, not wanting to spoon feed their audience. This is the shit they're talking about, and that is so frustrating because I'm getting tired of this getting cranked out to us when it's like, no, it's okay to think a little bit. It's fine. In fact, I kind of wish you would ask that of the audience once in a while, because then you'd stop crapping out whatever fucking 7.
And the CG is kind of, it's okay. It's all right. But you have a movie like Godzilla -1 on such a small budget. They accomplished so much. And in this, it's like all that was thrown out the window because it wasn't an actual, I don't know, just didn't feel right. But moving on, I guess. That's life.
Moving on to the end of the episode. There.
We are.
Yeah.
We
that,
are.
That concludes the reviews there. But folks, get a little WonderCon action. Still get your tasty toast, of course. I hope you had some fun joining us. It was fun. Adam, it was fun to actually be in the same room with you recording an episode.
I mean, you might wanted to kill me before we got into this actual episode because I was a little bitchy and tired, and we're here now. It's working.
Okay. I don't know. No, it's also
we had a lot of technical difficulties. Yeah. And so it's like 4:00 my time, 5:00 almost. Yeah. Wow.
Well.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Okay.
But
I don't think that was worth mentioning. But okay.
I just want to show you that we can have a terrible time trying to set up, and then once we're in it, and it's great. It feels nice.
Oh, that's not how it came off. But
well, that's what I was getting at. Okay. God damn it! I'm trying here, man. I'm trying. Oh man, but oh fuck, there it goes. Bam. So yeah, check us out on our socials at movie_toast, at almost everywhere: X, Facebook, Instagram. I want to say Reddit, but fuck Reddit. TikTok, YouTube's. There's so many movies I've seen since the last episode, but couldn't fit it all in. Please check out YouTube and TikTok for those reviews. There's a lot of great movies out right now that you guys should check out. Please check those out. And not all of them are bad like the ones that might have gotten bad reviews today. I mean, the other movies I've seen.
Right. Hey, this is what you asked for, Justy. Yeah. That's Adam insisted.
I took all 14 movies and pitched them to the audience, and these were the ones they wanted to hear about.
So, please tune in and check out. I know he's a lot of fun cutting this for you guys. So if you want that extra little bit of toast, it is there daily. It is up to you to seek it out. So please come check out the TikTok and YouTube and see what is there. Some awesome toast to appreciate.
Heck yeah. And like we always tell you, we got stuff coming up in December. Stuff that you can be a part of.
That's right. It's Movie Toast the Festival on filmfreeway.com/Movie Toast the Festival. Please submit now. This is the 4th year running so far. We hold it every December. It is a streaming festival on YouTube, so you don't have to worry about going anywhere. It is an online submission only. It is a low-cost submission. We're trying to get some passionate creatives to get their material out in front of some audiences, and we have a great time not only judging these stuff, but sharing it with you guys, the Toasties. It's there's so many storytellers out there who haven't had a chance to really break out and share their voice yet, and we hope that we can contribute to that. And I know it's going to be another year of great storytelling.
We already got a handful of films right now, and by a handful, like a decent amount. Like 2 years ago, this would have been all the submissions we've had, but we want to see more. We're like, and still the entry fee is very minimal. We know we're not trying to break the bank. You already put your money and budget into those films. Exactly.
This is just to keep the lights on. This is honestly just to make the show happen.
Yeah. All the money goes into the show.
Yeah. There's no profit to be made here.
We lose money sometimes.
It all comes right back to you guys, the Toasties, and you filmmakers.
Yeah.
But please check out filmfreeway.com/Movie Toast the Festival, and let's have some fun this December, guys. It should be a good time.
And if you don't want to do that, maybe you could head over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get these podcasts and leave a review. Tell us what works, what doesn't work, what you want to hear, what you don't want to hear, so we can improve the show a bit and know what the audience likes.
Just keep making that golden, delicious toast for you.
Oh, yeah. We like to say. Stay tuned.
That was,
I wasn't sure you were about to do it. I wasn't sure you were doing it at the same time.
It happened
I
so
hit it
fast.
too quick. I'm sorry.
I wasn't ready for the transition. But it's okay. That's just what happens. But you know, as always, they're gonna stay toasty. You know to stay toasty.
That's true. That's true.
We should. If
they made it through the show, you think they know.
Here to stay some toasty.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, folks.
Yeah. Where the hell is our
Until
exit
next time. That's
song?
it. You were
classic theme.
Closing.
I gotta learn to read.
Closing. It's going. It's going. Promise.
Is it over? That was quick.
I think he clicked on it again.
Should I click it again?
He clicked it a bunch.
Oh, well, I'll click it one more time for safety.
Here we go. It's closing.
You can hear it?
Yeah.
I'm deaf. Oh, I hear it now. All right, it's over. Whew. Oh, man. So I did kind of get as an inadvertent, well, not inadvertent, it was all totally planned, a little marketing elsewhere. There's this one podcast I listen to. They have this thing where they want you to send in like these like little jingles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sent one in, but then I made it like a dual part thing. I'm like, I also promoted the show on it and thinking they cut it, but they actually, they ran it and talked about the show, and it was interesting.
Oh, well, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we got any actual extra downloads from it, but it was nice getting it out there to a couple thousand people more.
I would have listened to that. That would have been cool.
Yeah. But
dang.
I got them talking about it on here. I got a clip I can play here. Let's see. This old mystery clip, I call it. I'll plug it here because you can delete it.
Right, so I heard that and I thought, well, that's quite a contribution, right? Yeah. His subscription is certainly.
I don't know. Whew. Good times. God, I can't believe it's almost 2.
Yes.
I think we should wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah. Like, what are we?
I don't know.
What are we waiting on?
I like to really ride that fine line.
I know. It's. I don't know what.